Have you ever dreamed of taking that one last grand adventure? Maybe visiting a place you've always wanted to see, reuniting with family across the country, or just taking a relaxing getaway. Traveling after 70 can be one of the most fulfilling experiences of your life. It keeps the mind sharp, the heart young, and the soul enriched. But here's the thing, as wonderful as it sounds, traveling at this stage comes with risks that most people never think about until it's too late. That's why today, we need to talk about something important: the hidden dangers of traveling after 70. I'm not saying this to scare you, but to prepare you. Because with the right awareness and planning, you can avoid these risks and still enjoy the adventure of a lifetime. So, let's get right into it. Let's start with one of the biggest concerns, your health. It's no secret that our bodies don't recover as quickly as they used to. A small discomfort that you could have ignored in your 40s might turn into a real problem in your 70s. Think about long flights, sudden changes in climate, unfamiliar foods. Any of these can trigger unexpected health issues. One moment, you're excitedly planning your itinerary, and the next, you're stuck in a hotel room with a health scare you weren't prepared for. One of the biggest mistakes seniors make is assuming that travel insurance is just another extra expense. But here's the truth: without it, a simple medical emergency can turn into a financial nightmare. Imagine this: you're on a trip to Europe, and suddenly, you experience chest pain. You get rushed to the hospital, only to find out that without insurance, your medical bill could cost thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, of dollars. And worse, what if you need to be flown back home for treatment? That's an expense that could wipe out your entire savings. So, before you even think about booking that flight, check your insurance coverage. Make sure it includes international travel, emergency evacuations, and pre-existing conditions. And if you're thinking, "But I feel fine. I hardly ever get sick," just remember, when it comes to your health, it's always better to be overprepared than underprepared. Now, let's talk about something that many seniors overlook: mobility and stamina. Even if you feel energetic on most days, traveling can put your body through challenges you might not expect. Long walks through airports, standing in long lines, or even carrying luggage can take a toll. And let's be honest, sometimes, we don't realize how much our energy has changed until we're in a situation where we need it the most. I once knew a gentleman named Robert. At 72, he was still active, took his morning walks, played golf every weekend, and never thought twice about his mobility. So, when he planned a trip to Rome, he didn't think twice about all the walking involved. But after just 2 days of sightseeing, he was exhausted. His knees were aching, his back was stiff, and suddenly, what was supposed to be a dream vacation became a struggle to keep up. He ended up missing half the places he wanted to see, not because he didn't want to go, but because his body just couldn't handle the strain. That's why being honest about your stamina is crucial. If you haven't been walking much at home, start taking daily walks weeks before your trip. If you have trouble standing for long periods, consider requesting airport assistance or looking for travel itineraries that accommodate slower paces. There's no shame in adjusting your trip to suit your needs. It's about making sure you can actually enjoy the experience, not just endure it. And speaking of adjustments, let's talk about another silent risk: dehydration and exhaustion. You'd be surprised how many seniors end up feeling dizzy, lightheaded, or even fainting while traveling simply because they forget to hydrate. The problem? As we age, our bodies don't always send strong thirst signals like they used to, so it's easy to forget. Add in the dry air of airplanes, changes in routine, and unfamiliar surroundings, and suddenly, dehydration sneaks up on you before you even realize what's happening. One simple trick? Carry a refillable water bottle with you at all times. And don't wait until you feel thirsty to drink, sip water throughout the day. Also, pay attention to the foods you eat while traveling. High-sodium restaurant meals, alcohol, and caffeine can all contribute to dehydration, leaving you feeling more fatigued than usual. By now, we've covered some of the most important physical risks, but there are still more hidden dangers that can catch you off guard. Another risk that often goes unnoticed until it's too late is scams targeting seniors. It's an unfortunate reality, but many criminals see older travelers as easy targets. Whether it's a taxi driver overcharging you, a friendly stranger offering help while secretly taking your wallet, or a too-good-to-be-true vacation deal that turns out to be a trap, scams can happen to anyone, but seniors are especially vulnerable. I once heard about a woman named Margaret who went on a solo trip to Thailand. She was excited, confident, and ready for an adventure. But on her second day, a well-dressed man approached her at a tourist site, claiming to be a government official offering free entry to a nearby temple. He looked official, had a badge, and even spoke English fluently. So, she trusted him. The next thing she knew, she was inside a shop where the staff pressured her into buying overpriced jewelry. By the time she realized what had happened, she had spent hundreds of dollars on fake goods. The best way to protect yourself? Be skeptical of unsolicited offers, especially from strangers. If someone approaches you with an offer that seems too convenient, take a step back. Always use official taxi services, book tours through reputable companies, and never hand over your passport to anyone who isn't a hotel staff member or airport official. When in doubt, trust your instincts. If something feels off, walk away. Now, let's talk about something that can turn a dream vacation into a nightmare in an instant: getting lost or disoriented in an unfamiliar place. When you're younger, getting lost can be an adventure. You pull out your phone, check Google Maps, and figure it out. But as we age, navigation can become more stressful, especially in foreign countries where language barriers make asking for help difficult. Imagine stepping off a train in a city where all the signs are in a language you don't understand. Your phone's battery is low, you can't find anyone who speaks English, and suddenly, the excitement turns into panic. This happens more often than you think. To avoid this, always have a backup plan. Write down your hotel's name and address on paper. Keep an emergency contact card in your wallet with the phone number of a local contact or your country's embassy. And if you're traveling alone, share your itinerary with a family member back home so someone always knows where you're supposed to be. One of the simplest yet most effective travel habits? Take a photo of important locations. Snap a picture of your hotel, the nearest landmark, or even the taxi stand where you got dropped off. That way, if you ever get confused, you can show the photo to a local or a police officer for help. At this point, you might be thinking, wow, I didn't realize there were so many hidden risks to traveling after 70. But the goal here isn't to scare you, it's to make sure your trip is smooth, safe, and stress-free. That's why we need to discuss another crucial topic: financial security while traveling. Carrying large amounts of cash is never a good idea, but for seniors, it can be even riskier. Pickpockets often target older travelers because they assume they carry cash and might not notice a quick hand slipping into their bag. And if you lose your wallet, replacing cash is nearly impossible when you're far from home. A better strategy? Use a mix of payment methods. Carry only a small amount of cash for daily expenses, use a credit card for larger purchases, and keep an emergency backup card in a separate place like in your hotel safe or hidden in a different bag. If possible, get a travel-friendly debit card that allows you to withdraw local currency without high fees. And one more tip, notify your bank before you travel. The last thing you want is for your card to be blocked while you're in another country because the bank flagged your transactions as suspicious. A quick call before your trip can save you from a major headache. Now that we've covered scams, navigation, and financial security, there's still one more hidden danger we need to talk about. One of the most overlooked dangers of traveling after 70 is unexpected medical emergencies. No one likes to think about it, but the truth is, the older we get, the more we need to be prepared for health-related issues while away from home. It could be something as minor as forgetting your medication or as serious as needing emergency medical attention in a country where healthcare works very differently. Take the case of Robert, a 74-year-old retiree who traveled to Spain for a long-awaited vacation. He had always been healthy, so he didn't think much about travel insurance or carrying extra medication. But on his second day, he slipped and fractured his wrist. The hospital refused to treat him until he provided proof of insurance or paid a large sum upfront. With no immediate access to funds, he spent hours in pain, navigating foreign bureaucracy, until his family managed to wire him money. The best way to avoid a situation like this? Never travel without health insurance. Even if you feel perfectly fine, travel insurance ensures that if something happens, you won't be stuck with enormous medical bills or struggling to get the care you need. Look for a plan that covers hospital visits, emergency evacuations, and even prescription replacements if your medication gets lost. Speaking of medication, always carry extra doses in your carry-on. If your luggage gets lost or your trip gets extended unexpectedly, You don't want to be scrambling to find a pharmacy in an unfamiliar country. Bring a written prescription from your doctor, just in case you need to get a refill abroad. And here's a final thought: stay connected. No matter how independent you are, it's always a good idea to check in with a loved one regularly while traveling. A simple text, call, or even sharing your location with a family member can give you peace of mind and ensure someone always knows where you are. At the end of the day, travel is one of life's greatest joys, and age should never hold you back from exploring the world. But being prepared is what turns a good trip into a great one. So, before you book your next adventure, take these precautions to heart, because the best kind of journey is a safe and worry-free one. If you found these tips helpful, let me know in the comments, what's one travel mistake you've learned from? And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on Echoes of Wisdom Safe Travels, and see you in the next video.